the bigger things, I'm talking monetary gains. I'm on the bigger things, I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too. I'm on the bigger things. I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of juice. Whenever you're focused on building your bands, gotta navigate and get to the money. No distraction gonna take me off course. Laughing at you clowns, you know what's funny. I'm that nigga and they know what it costs. Chick gon' get it, I don't care what it costs. All this horsepower, know me to floss. Rockin' Ralph Lauren up in the Porsche. New cologne scent smelling like honey. Keep the thing on me for whoever want it. Fantastic with the 4 pound. Desert Eagle or the 40 cal. Jimmy Fox, I lift your soul out. People saying whole soul out. Motherfuckers don't know what they talk about. I just think they need someone to talk about. So they sit around and gossip like bitches. Pocket watching and critiquing decisions. Truth is they know shit about business. I'm on a mission, trying to get into the billions. Can't get caught up in my feelings. Raising the ceiling. Y'all know the flow appealing. Able, ready, and I'm willing. Give a fuck about your feelings. I'm making a killing. I'm on the bigger things. I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too. I'm on the bigger things. I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too. I got a whole lot of this. And I got a whole lot of that. Whole lot of y'all rags. Whole lot of y'all act like you really with the shits. Really blood a crib, really you're a bitch. I really keep the fifth, really getting chips, really need the shit. Yeah, they know I'm lit, 100 on the wrist, icy as a bitch. Spicy as a kid. My FIT is a drip. Quite pricey at the Ritz. Got your wifey on my dick. She loving my style, the way I get down, and she like the way I spit. Feeling wavy in this bitch. To the max speed like a motherfucker. I'm the gravy on the bitch. Fuck they saying I don't hear shit. Only money talk to me, come and talk to me. You gotta be worth shit. I'm on the bigger things. I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting through is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too. I'm on the bigger things. I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too.
Whole lot of cash shit going on. I'm in my bag, running up a bag. Whole lot of cash shit going on. Whole lot of cash shit, tweaking finesse it. All the games, I'm not to be messed with. Y'all be playing, shit so temporary. One in the chamber, one up, I need leverage. Y'all completely flip the script, no director. I'm tryna break the bank while y'all break up. Too much at stake, yeah, that's a fact. Imagine that, watch the close ones. They'll stab you in your back. I'm in my bag, running up a bag. Whole lot of cash shit going on. I'm in my bag, running up a bag. Whole lot of cash shit going on. When I step out, I'm giving them chills. Run your bag up, and you know the feel. You know I'm up next. I'm running up checks, stepping on necks. Know I had to flex. Finna ice on my neck. Put my man in baguettes. Buy my mama a jet. You bitches were choosy. Could never be like y'all. Fucking with no goofies. Just to be goofies. At the end of the day, you nigga gon' choose me. Running up a bag. Whole lot of cash shit going on. I'm in my bag. Running up a bag. Whole lot of cash shit going on. You'll see I'm coming strong, like I can't do no wrong. If you ain't feel me before, you gon' feel me now. I'm making big moves now, giving you bitches something you can talk about. Check the progress, know what the loss is. Now I move flawless, a bigger bag now. Yeah, I'm focused. They try to count me out, but I'm chosen. This life has just begun. If you want a problem, my Damn, they told them guns. That's like I'm just.
It's been a tremendous blessing to me, my family, my life, and I appreciate it.
Brother Max, cut that back.
Like I said, I always try to express my appreciation, to everybody. It's a lot of
Perspective, real empowerment, you better be respected. Lady Fresh on the motherfucking check-in. Breezy got her back, she stay protected. Just the fresh perspective, real empowerment, you better be respected. This for the dreamers, this to get you through the night now. Not for the haters that you they don't come outside.
Lady Fresh Brown, and that's kind of started from there. Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of The Fresh Perspective. I am your host, Lady Fresh. Hey, you guys. Good to see you all in here tonight. We have a great episode planned for you tonight. We're going to be doing this episode that everyone's been asking for the longest. Everyone has wanted to do a crypto 101, and that night is finally here. We have a wonderful guest tonight, Miss Rebekah Gioe. She is the crypto rocket, and she's going to be joining us very soon and giving us some much needed tips and tricks as it comes to crypto and understanding the do's and the don'ts, the things that you should and shouldn't do, and what it can do for you and for your future. The whole goal these days is to build financial freedom, to create financial literacy. And, Rebekah's going to help us do that tonight. So first and foremost, the music you heard tonight was Kenya Shaylin, In My Bag, and Rich Verb's Monetary Gains. So I figured I'd play some songs about some money since we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency. And, I want to encourage you guys to ask questions. As usual, Fresh Breezy will look for you guys' questions. He'll write them down and bring them to me if I don't see them myself. So don't hesitate to drop some questions. We may have a little time towards the end to do question and answers. We'll just kind of have to see how time looks for us. So first, let me acknowledge a few people in the chat. Club J Town, salute. Thank you for tuning in. My Jen, of course, salute to you, sweetie. So happy to see you here. CMW Recordings in the building. I love my song. I still play it on a regular basis, like even when I'm not on the show. I love that song. Jay Savage, salute. My boo, thank you for tuning in. My Eve, my beautiful Eve, thank you for tuning in, sis. I appreciate the support. All right. So I do have my guest here, and we're gonna go ahead and get started because I know this, Mills Lane. I can't forget Mills Lane. Thank you so much for stopping by. If anybody comes in that's a first time guest of the Fresh Perspective, please feel free to drop a fire sign in there so I can acknowledge you for visiting for the very first time. Okay, so I am going to bring up our guest, Miss Rebekah Gioe. I've had the pleasure of seeing her work on Instagram. She does some amazing posts to help people get an understanding of crypto. She does a great job of, explaining the do's and the don'ts. And she's going to come and do that for us tonight. And so I want you guys to welcome Miss Rebekah Gioe, the crypto rocket. Hey, Rebekah.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule.
Of course, I was excited and happy to do this.
So I gave them a little bit of background, and I originally came across you, I believe, through Clubhouse in one of the engagement rooms. We both do a lot of engagements on the Viral Love Train, where we're basically pushing our brands. And I came across your information, and I was blown away by just the short amount of time that you're able to put a post up. You give us so much information, and it's very valuable information. So I was like, I need to see if she'll come do the Fresh Perspective. And when I reached out to you, you graciously accepted, and now we have you here tonight. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for saying that, first of all. That's really nice to hear. I want as many of my posts to be as informative and easy as possible. So thank you for that. And I was really excited to come on here. I love chatting with people about crypto. I mean, I'm a little bit of a nerd. So, talking about crypto to me is exciting. And I'm excited to see what your guests have, like, question wise, and help anybody out. Because at the end of the day, I really want everyone to succeed in this world. And I think that's the biggest thing with crypto is, there's a lot of scams, there's a lot of people who fail. And so if people can crypto the right way, then, I'm a huge advocate for that.
Absolutely. And your Instagram, I'm gonna go ahead and actually put it up here so that everybody can go over to IG and follow you. Yes, your Instagram gives a lot of information just scrolling through. Like I feel like I get a full lesson if I just click on a couple of different posts that you make. And so it's really, really great information. So before we dive really into crypto and what it is, tell us, how long have you been involved with crypto? And tell us what the crypto rocket is.
All right. So my crypto journey started back in, I think it was roughly 2015, 2016. And unfortunately, like most people, I didn't I bought what we call at the top, which just means that when prices are running really high, you buy kind of at the wrong time. You buy during the middle of a bull market, which is when a lot of prices are running and continuously going up. But I bought because a lot of my friends said, "Hey, there's this thing called Bitcoin or Ethereum. You should buy it." I didn't do my research. I kind of just FOMO'd in, and that just means fear of missing out. So I made a few newbie mistakes, but I got into this, the crypto world, and it was a set it and forget it thing for me. So I forgot about it for a few years until I heard about the Quadriga exchange hack. So Quadriga exchange was a cryptocurrency exchange, and that's where you buy cryptocurrencies. Um, so what happened was the guy who owned the exchange, apparently he died in a plane crash. And no one knows if this is true or not, but apparently he had the keys to the passwords and everything on the exchange. So nobody could access their cryptocurrency. So
Wow.
basically, the crypto that I bought was gone. And obviously, after an experience like that, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And so I kind of decided that it was not for me. Plus, the media and a lot of the things around crypto were negative at that point in time, especially back in 2015, 2016. Definitely is changed this last year, 2 years, couple years. Um, so, anyways, that happened, and I kind of just went off the crypto train. And then, fast forward to 2019, I started learning how to trade, actually doing proper trading. And a lot of my courses and trade groups, there was people who were trading crypto. So I piqued my interest because I saw people making a lot of money, and then I got into it again. And then the 2020 pandemic started or happened, and it was a blessing for me because it gave me the opportunity to have all this extra time on my hands. So all I did was spend that time researching and getting into crypto and seeing incredible opportunities, and then that was it. I got really passionate about it. The more I learned about crypto, at first, let's be honest, I got in for the money. I mean, that's what most people get in for, right? However, once I started going down the rabbit hole of crypto and understanding it better, I started realizing how it's it's a system that is so much better than our current system. In all of the breakdowns and flaws we have in the financial system, there's so many of them. And we even see it with inflation now. This has happened probably 3 or 4 times in history before we've gotten to a place where we keep printing money and it really impacts the world. And blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies are essentially trying to fix that. That's why Bitcoin was created. That's why crypto or the blockchain was created, was to give power back to the people. So I became extremely passionate about it. And in a world full of negativity over the pandemic, I kind of had this light of, you know what, this is the answer in my opinion. And so then I decided I wanted to teach it to everybody because, I obviously truly believe in it. I'm really passionate about it.
I can definitely tell again through all your posts and how you're really pushing to really educate people. So for the people who just totally don't know what cryptocurrency is, can you give us the official definition of cryptocurrency and what it would be used for?
So cryptocurrency it's digital currency. So it's not like when you think Bitcoin, some people think it's an actual coin. It's not. It's not a tangible asset. It's on the blockchain, so it's on the internet. And basically, what it allows for is a peer-to-peer system. Instead of there being, when you transact, let's say with another person, it's through the bank. There's a third party. So blockchain technology, which encompasses also crypto on the blockchain, and I'll get into blockchain in a second, is allowing for people to transact without that third party. And it's a lot more secure. So it's called cryptography, and it's a type of extra security basically, with different mathematical equations on computers, but it's extra security that allows for people to transact across the world from wherever without the risk of things going awry and without the risk of basically anyone being able to see the transaction. So it's decentralized. And decentralized means just not from a central authority. So it's all on the blockchain and it's all secure. So it's a little bit complex, but cryptocurrency means that decentralized, no central authority on the blockchain, and secure by cryptographic proof of trust.
Okay. And I know that you mentioned that during the pandemic was when you took a lot of time to really do your research and get really, more deeply involved in it and teaching it. Um, is there a particular reason why just all of a sudden it seemed like crypto exploded? What was the push behind that? Like, we've heard of Bitcoin as early as what was it, 2011?
It was created in 2008, but we probably started hearing about it in 2011.
Right. And then we've seen like a huge influx of the interest in cryptocurrency. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's a few factors. I mean, it's growth primarily. Just like any stock or company, it takes a bit before people realize what you do and what you offer. So similarly with blockchain. So that's one factor. I think also the interest, as slowly people learn more, they realize how big of an opportunity cryptocurrency is. And so the more developers and investors and people who have blockchain tech skills realize what this system offers, they want to either drop their current jobs and enter the crypto space to work, or they want to invest in it because they see the potential. And so it's become, now Kevin O'Leary's invested into crypto. He has 20% of his holdings in cryptocurrencies. Mark Cuban, the Winklevoss twins, we have JP Morgan, Visa, eBay. Like more and more people are realizing about the technology and the opportunities. So now there's a lot more hype because, of course, if the media is talking about it in a positive light now, it's changed since 2015, then people are going to look at it differently. So I think that's why primarily we see the influx over the past 2 or 3 years.
And just like with the stock market, it can be very volatile. Can you explain why crypto is so volatile?
Yeah. So same idea with regards to it being not as recognized worldwide. So I think the statistics, or last time I checked, was there's only 10% of the world that has a crypto wallet. So you think 10% of the world's capital is invested into crypto. It's only roughly $1 to $2 trillion market cap of all of the cryptocurrencies. And just what market cap means, it's the overall valuation of a company. So 1 to 2 trillion, and then you compare it to something like just one asset, gold. Gold's market cap is, I think, 12 trillion. So just gold alone, not the entire stock market, is what is that? 8x or 7x less or more than what cryptocurrency is. So any influx of cash into Bitcoin makes it jump or drop quite quickly. So, if there's any spook in the markets on the media or anything like that, or an investor decides to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin or sell, then it really impacts the price. So the smaller valuation companies they're more volatile, just like anything, just like a penny stock. It's very similar in the market. And sorry, what was your second part of that question?
Oh, I was just asking about it being volatile. What causes it basically
Right.
to be volatile?
So that's one thing. And I think that's actually the main thing, really, is it's just, and it's a riskier asset because of that. So what happens is we go through cycles, just like in the stock market, bear markets and bull markets. So bear markets are when prices increase, and bull markets are when prices increase. Bear markets are when they decrease. And same with crypto, we have cycles. So Bitcoin has what's called the Bitcoin halving. So what it essentially does, every 4 years, we go into a period where less Bitcoin is being created or put into the system. So there's only 21 million Bitcoin that'll ever be created. However, it comes out over time. It's not available to be purchased right off the bat. So every 4 years, a little bit more Bitcoin becomes available for people on the market. However, sorry, this is complicated. So the amount of Bitcoin is less and less. However, so right now I think we're mined at about 18 million Bitcoin, and there's only 21 million ever going to be created. So every time this halving event happens, it cuts the amount of Bitcoin into less available on the market. So it increases Bitcoin's price. So these are called the bull markets in crypto. And then after about 3 years, we enter a bear market, and these are completely normal. And we go from anywhere from, 60,000 all the way down to 15,000 Bitcoin. And this is
That's what we're seeing now.
Yeah. I mean, right now we're kind of in unique times because we're dealing with a lot more moving parts in the market. I mean, the world is in a pickle. We've been through a lot, and with COVID and inflation and the shipping breakdowns, and we're seeing a lot of we're going to be seeing some food shortages and things like that. I think we're in almost potentially a really big recession, and if that, people are really worried about that, and the interest rates keep rising, so you'll see the stock market is also dropping. Well, because the stock market is so much larger than Bitcoin, imagine Bitcoin drops at a more severe level because it's such a tiny overall share of the assets around the world. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. No, it makes absolute sense. So, and it's so complex. So that's why I wanted to get an actual professional to come and really try to explain it. And even still hearing it, it's like, wow, I still have so much to learn. So thank you so much for putting it in as close to layman terms as possible. So you mentioned the blockchain. So can you explain to us a little bit more about what the blockchain is?
Sure, yeah. So the blockchain is essentially kind of like a bank's ledger where they keep all their transactions. The blockchain is the digital version of that. So it's essentially online for anyone to see, and it records any assets being purchased or sold on the blockchain. So that's the simplest way to put it. The reason it's called blockchain is more technical. It's just there's a certain amount of transactions that fit into a block. And then once all those transactions are completed, they attach to the chain of previous transactions on the blockchain. So it's just a technical term for it, but essentially it's an immutable ledger. So it cannot be edited or changed once a transaction is done. It's posted on the internet, and it can't be audited at all or edited. So that's the part about crypto that's really amazing, is that we don't necessarily know what the banks or what the system, the government is doing with the money for taxes or for these things. And with the blockchain, it's all visible for anyone to see. And it's all code, so it can't be changed. So I think that's a big, fundamental aspect about the blockchain that really helps, or people see as a way for us to be better in the future. Because right now, with the way things are going, so many things in our system are broken. So the blockchain essentially allows for a better operating system. That way it's more honest.
Okay. I have one question so far from the chat that I just want to drop this in real quick. And Eve is asking, is it wise to invest in crypto right now?
I would say that right now it depends what your outlook or your goal is. So for me, I'm dollar cost averaging into crypto right now. And what that means is every month, let's say I put some money into it because we're in a bear trend. So we're consistently making lower lows. We don't know when the bottom's going to be. Right now, we're at more than 50% off of Bitcoin, like I said, it topped around 60,000 this bear or bull market, and it's now at a roughly 21,000. So that's more than 50%. So it's a good time to start dollar cost averaging and buying your favorite problems or projects. However, I don't know when the bottom is going to be, and we could be in for more pain with the way that the world is going. I advise people, this is why you don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and also have a long-term mindset, because I'm in this game long term. So for me, I'm slowly, gradually buying every time we have a dip. And that's the way I've become the most successful, to be honest. However, again, you just have to establish your risk tolerance and understand the condition that we're in right now.
So Eve, I hope that answered your question. I love this because I think a lot of people got introduced to crypto by watching, other people say, "Oh, I bought this," or "Go out and buy that," and Dogecoin is doing this, and you don't know what the heck a Dogecoin is, right? And so you just hear it's cheap, you start buying a bunch of it, and then you start losing, and then people start panicking, and then they start dumping all of their crypto. And so it was always my understanding that with crypto, when it starts to go down is when you're supposed to buy, not when it's up at the highest possible mark. I mean, I guess people look at it like, "Oh, it's doing so well, let me buy it now." But you should actually be looking for it to come down before you actually purchase. Is that the right way?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And that's one of the biggest reasons people fail in this world is that everybody jumps on the hype train, and I've been there. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you instead of learning those mistakes the hard way, try and take it from someone who's been there and from people who are saying this is not when you should be buying. You should be learning about what you want and then waiting for something like this or pullbacks where we have opportunities to buy when this is like any stock in the market as well. When a project is undervalued, you don't want to be buying it when it's going to the moon. This is a term in trading because, people always assume everything's going to go really high in price. They say to the moon, and that's the worst time to be buying because we always have dips and we always have bear markets. So right now is the best time, honestly, to be accumulating and just along the way. But the key to that is, and I'm glad you brought that up, is that people don't know and learn. And so then they don't know what they're buying. Like, for instance, Dogecoin or even like Shiba Inu. Shiba, to me, there's no value there. So it was a hype and somebody made a lot of money and then it became a news article and then everyone was on the Shiba Inu train. But that doesn't mean that the project has value. So, in times like these, those ones that don't have very much value, they're going to drop like 95% more than likely. Whereas something like Bitcoin and Ethereum that's been around for the long haul and it's been tested through 3 different bear markets now. And, they're valuable assets to have. Those are the ones that you should be looking at in times like these and know which projects are valuable, which projects are going to be around next bull run. Majority of the projects in crypto won't make it to the next bull run. They won't survive the bear run. So it's just important to know what you're investing in and not just jump in because somebody or a YouTuber is telling you, hey, this coin's going to do this. Just trust me on that. I've learned the hard way. just learn and have conviction in it too, because when you see your coin dropping in value, you don't have conviction in what you've purchased, you panic and you sell at the bottom and then you buy at the top. And this is what a lot of new people do. And then they basically get wrecked and they don't come back. And that's unfortunate because there's a massive opportunity here for people.
So someone who wants to get into crypto, what would be the first thing you would tell them to do? Say they have, set aside a budget to make some crypto investments. What would be the first thing you would tell them to do?
First thing I would say is at least spend half an hour a day tuning into either a podcast or some sort of educational content for you to learn, because it isn't just like 5 things. Like I can tell you core things that I want to get into. For instance, if you're going to buy crypto, you should always hold your crypto on a cold storage wallet. An example of a cold storage wallet is called a Ledger Nano. And you can buy it online. It's about $70. It's a USB stick. It protects your crypto. Another thing is, making sure you're never leaving your crypto on an exchange. That's one big thing. But there's so many things. And so it's really important for people to tune in somewhere and get those little tidbits of education. I have a lot of posts on my page right now that have the breakdown of what to do. I'm going to be talking about that in my podcast as well. So that is a big one. I have a few written down here actually that I wanted to touch later on, but now that you have me on the topic, I'm going to say a few of them here.
Okay.
Be careful with YouTubers. So if you are tuning into YouTube and you're learning, sometimes what we call are shillers, where they're invested into a project potentially, and now they're shilling you a coin. So they're trying to get you to buy it. Just again, don't fall for those things. There's a lot of stuff like that in crypto. There's a lot of scams. If you start getting into crypto, you might get into Discord groups or chat groups, and people will message you and send you links. Just don't do anything that seems too good to be true. It's the same as any, other scam that we have in the world. There's just a lot with crypto. I mean, I even have a bunch of fake accounts just because there's people see dollar signs and they want to get people's money. So just be really wary of things like that. And those are probably 2 of the biggest things. One more thing is just always have a long-term mindset with crypto. Like if this is what you want to get into, especially right now with this market, it might take us a year to 3 years to get out of this. I don't know what that's going to look like. So if you're going to just be realistic with your goals. So again, learn as much as you can, because that's the biggest strength.
That's so important, what you said about being realistic with your goals.
Mm-hmm.
And, for the most part, any type of investing that you're doing, you should be looking for the long term. It's not a get rich quick scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And having said that, is there a way that you recommend? Like, is there a way to identify the scammers? Because so many people are getting scammed because they're looking for the quick way to make money, the fast way to make money, instead of taking the time to, listen to a crypto rocket or, another reputable YouTuber or, someone who has some type of credential to be able to lead you a certain direction. Is there a way to identify people who are scamming?
Not really.
Figures.
Yeah, unfortunately, not really. You just have, again, just be really diligent with any clickbait, like anything that pops up that's like, oh, click here and you'll get a free Ethereum or Bitcoin. Don't do that. You don't need, if anyone asks for your wallet address, unless you're looking to send somebody money or vice versa, nobody needs your wallet address. Nobody needs any of your information. So you don't need to give that off. There's a lot of wallet scams. So like 2 things. Passwords are very important. Don't use the same password for everything. Don't log into like a Wi-Fi connection at a Starbucks if you hold a lot of crypto, because people can hack the Wi-Fi and access your crypto. What else? Again, the cold storage wallet, but otherwise, yeah, you can't really avoid them. they're pretty rampant these days. And
Mhm.
again, I think that the biggest thing is just be diligent with your hardware wallet. You utilize different passwords and don't click on anything. Don't give anyone any information.
And so as far as like the wallets, before we get to the wallets, what platforms would you say are good platforms to purchase and like get your crypto? Because I know like when I first started, the very first crypto I bought on Robinhood. And they were like, "No, don't use that because you don't really own it. You can't really do anything with it. Like you could just sell it. You can't transfer it out anywhere." At least
What
back
did you
then
buy?
you couldn't. On Robinhood, you would buy crypto
Oh,
for Robinhood, but you couldn't really do anything with it. Like you couldn't transfer it anywhere. You could only sell it. So they tell you don't use sites like that. So I switched over to Coinbase, which has been a little bit better, but I really haven't been like paying as much attention to it as I used to, and I really would like to. So what type of platforms would you recommend people use for buying their crypto?
I would say three of my favorites actually. So I have my main platform I use is Kraken.com. Kraken is just very reputable for being a very safe platform. It's been around for a long time. So any of my major moves I usually do on Kraken. And then they also have a very easy platform for staking. So it's as I think I actually did a post about this on my Instagram page the other day. It's as easy as just clicking earn and then stake. So anything that's available to be staked, which is essentially like when a stock pays you dividends, there's certain crypto that you can stake and get paid just to hold the currency. So Kraken offers a really easy and convenient way to do that. And then my second choice would be Binance. Binance is a really popular one. For US residents, I know that Binance has limitations when it comes to buying certain coins.
Yeah, it does.
I think that's been a problem for a lot of people. Nothing that a VPN can't fix, but either way, Kraken will offer some of those. And then crypto.com is another one. Crypto.com is nice because I have the app and it allows me to, first of all, I have a crypto.com credit card. It's like a Visa debit card that operates like a credit card. And you can spend your crypto on it and receive Bitcoin with it or receive like crypto rewards with it, which is cool. And also, it's a convenient app where you can set reminders on your phone to notify you when a cryptocurrency has dropped in value by a certain dollar amount. So it pops up with little notifications on your phone. And it's super convenient to just quickly buy on crypto.com. So those are probably my top three for platforms.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm familiar with all of those. So if I do decide to get back into my crypto, I definitely will have to get with you. Um, so I know we're talking mainly about, crypto. I know people are familiar with um Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum. What are some of the other popular cryptocurrencies that you think will hang around for?
Okay, so I would say Cardano, which is ticker ADA. Charles Hoskin is one of my favorite developers. He's been at this game for a long time. And ADA's been around for a few years now, so it's survived one bear market and it was back to this bull market, and I don't think it's going anywhere. It's got a lot of really strong developers. It's got a really solid uh, group of, I guess, ADA followers, like ADA tribe, like each cryptocurrency has their own backing with all their support. And so, and they're up to some really great things. Like he's working on decentralized voting systems, which is something I'm a huge advocate for. And he's got, a system that's worked basically layer one solutions are what help facilitate the blockchain to run with transactions. So every business needs a layer one solution, and ADA is a layer one solution. So is Ethereum. So is Solana. So those are all very important things for crypto to even work in the world. That we need to have strong layer ones. So I would say Cardano is one of those ones that's a strong player. And then Solana is a popular coin. This is its first bull run. So, I'm not sure. It's had a few issues with its network. So I'm not sure. I own Solana. It's just one of those things I'm not really too sure about for the long haul with Solana. And then another one that's my favorite is Matic. It's the Polygon network. It's another network that is doing a lot of gaming. Basically, each network kind of helps Ethereum because there's so much overload on the Ethereum network. Ethereum is like the king of all networks, that each of these projects is trying to help Ethereum with more adoption. Because the more we get people into crypto, the more Ethereum kind of gets bogged down with all the transactions that are going on its network. And so all these other projects are helping it. So I would say Cardano and Matic, and those are 3 I feel confident about to just discuss because, I don't want to give anyone the wrong idea, or I don't want to give anyone coins and then people go out and buy them just thinking that, right? That's the challenge with something like this. But those are definitely 3. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Matic, Polkadot.
I was going to ask you
Polkadot,
about Polkadot. Do you think that's
yeah. So
going to be around for a while?
yes. I don't think Polkadot's going anywhere. Polkadot's an incredible project. So Ethereum this is one thing I failed to mention. Ethereum had 3 founders. One of them was Vitalik Buterin, who's still working on Ethereum. The other was Gavin Wood, who is now in charge of Polkadot. So he created Polkadot. And so those genius minds, now he's pulled Polkadot into also helping Ethereum scale. And he's going to be around for a while. And that's a good network. And then same with Cardano, actually. Charles Hoskins, he was a co-founder of Ethereum as well. So all 3 geniuses are going to be around for the long haul.
Okay, so y'all heard that, y'all. She's schooling us on what's going to be around, and there's so many coins. You got the ones that the Bitcoins and the Ethereums, and then you have altcoins. Can you tell us a little bit about altcoins? And then we're going to take another question from the chat.
Definitely. So altcoins are basically anything other than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's like the king of cryptocurrencies, the very first one. And then any other coin is called an altcoin. And so I think this is where people get confused because, the term for crypto is cryptocurrencies. So everyone thinks that they're just currencies. They're just used as payment, but that's not really what they are. They're all projects. They're all software systems. So each project is working on software systems for the blockchain to run as good as it can for basically us to hopefully adopt the whole world onto it. So each cryptocurrency is a software development project. And so they're all kind of trying to help facilitate the same thing. So we have the layer 1s that are helping with transactions on the blockchain. We have gaming tokens, we have insurance, we have decentralized finance, which is basically our finance system, but decentralized on the blockchain. And DeFi is so much better than our regular system. Like you can lock up your savings in the lowest interest rate possible in a DeFi account that I've seen is 4%. You're lucky if your savings account right now gets you 0.5%. And 4% is nothing. You can lock up to 25% in a safe fund, which is just literally you buying and holding. You're going to hold it anyways. So you might as well stake it and make that money. So DeFi has been one of the bigger reasons too why a lot of developers and people and investors have come into this world, because they've seen the opportunity for growth and gains. So that's kind of the world of that broken down.
Okay. And so I know that another popular NFTs are popular as well. So can you tell us what an NFT is? All these letters. What an NFT is and what it would be used for?
Okay, yeah. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. And what it essentially is it's like a means for exchange of goods. So let's say an artist wanted to market their product, And instead of using a corporation or a third party to do that, they can use a non-fungible token, and it would be considered like an asset purchase for somebody else. So let's say you had an album and they wanted to sell as many of that album as possible. They can create an NFT. Their users or customers, consumers can buy that NFT, and it represents their share in that good, whether it's to listen to the music or if you get royalties off of owning a part of that album or however that is. So it's essentially cutting out the middleman. So it's allowing for content creators, artists, businesses, platforms to market their products and eliminate the middleman that's charging them crazy fees,
Right.
and taking, big cuts. So NFTs represent that. And people get kind of confused because you see these NFTs like Bored Apes, and they're just a picture of an ape, and they're selling for 100 Ethereum, which right now is about around $140,000. So that seems kind of outrageous because I know when I first learned about them, I thought, well, why would that be worth that much money? It's just a picture of an ape. But what it represents is not just that. It's basically you have ownership into a community, and this community has become like the alpha of communities in the crypto space. They're developers, they're building on the blockchain, they're doing all these things, and being a part, like a 1% shareholder by owning that ape, gives you access to the community where people are creating, developing, doing all these really cool things. So it's become almost like the mecca. Everybody wants a Bored Ape now. Everybody wants to be a part of that community. And so that's kind of the other area of NFTs as well, as their communities. And so if you have an artist who wants his, he wants to establish a strong community for his music, that's a great way to do it through NFTs, because the people that are buying are truly genuinely looking for that community, strong community, and they're interested in your products, and now you're eliminating the middleman. So it's a
That makes
really
a lot
incredible.
of sense because
Mhm.
I actually see a lot of artists, music artists, with their own NFTs.
Yeah. It's
So
a really cool. I'm a huge advocate for it because it's like, again, we're eliminating that control from corporations.
that makes a lot of sense. Now the way you explained it, it makes a lot more sense now because I remember there was an artist who released his album, and I know it's I couldn't understand what the link between his NFTs and his album, what the link was, but he ended up making like millions like this because he sold out so fast. So it's really it's complicated, but it's worth learning about it.
It
So I
is.
wanted to get another question real quick from the chat. Ohedu says, "What conditions drive up Bitcoin?"
So multiple different factors. So first one would be the cycles. So I touched briefly about the Bitcoin halving and how every 4 years roughly Bitcoin has a halving where it decreases the amount of Bitcoin in supply. Not in supply, sorry. That is, it decreases the amount of Bitcoin that's on the market, something to that effect. And then so when we have a decrease, prices start to go up. So the last time we had a halving was in March, I believe, of 2020. So right now we're looking at around 2023, because the bull market starts a bit before the halving because people are expecting this to happen. And because it decreases the amount of Bitcoin available to buy, people then the value of it starts to rise and people know it's about to happen. So they start investing in it. So I would say following the halvings, timing wise, as well as what's going on, around us, like is the stock market in a bull market or a bear market? Because the thing is, again, it's a riskier asset, Bitcoin. So even larger retail investors are not, if the stock market's not doing well, they're not going to be putting money into Bitcoin. So right now, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are correlated with the stock market. The goal is that correlation is supposed to disconnect, because once we get enough market cap, once we get enough investments into crypto, it's going to be sustainable without being impacted by the stock market, but we're not there yet. So, and then right now, because it's still so small, anything that happens on the news impacts crypto. So the littlest thing, like, China bans crypto and China bans Bitcoin mining, that impacted the price of crypto. anything that comes on where the media has something negative to say or there's regulations around it, those are all going to impact the price. So it can be volatile even within a bull market, but bull markets are typically when you see the influx in a lot of capital, and bear markets like right now are going to be consistently making lower lows and dropping for probably the next year to 2 years. I hope that answers your question.
I hope that answers your question. Oh, oh, head. I'm sure he'll let me know. I think it answered the question really well. You mentioned, crypto being banned in China. Was that what you said?
They
In China?
they banned Bitcoin mining.
Bitcoin mining, right. So what happens if that happens here? What do you do with all of your Bitcoin?
So if crypto is to get banned, let's say in the US, at this point in time, back in 2015, I would have said that would have been a big deal because crypto still wasn't as accepted by a lot of very, powerful and important people in the markets and institutions that know what they're doing. However, now I would say that the only thing, if the US bans Bitcoin, the only thing that that's going to do is it's really just going to put them in a position where they're not at the forefront of this new innovation of technology, because all over the world now is accepting Bitcoin. Like El Salvador is a Bitcoin country. Miami, what's the other place? Singapore, Dubai, Panama. I mean, there's more, but I can't think of them all off the top of my head. And a lot of these places like Singapore and Dubai are really doing a lot with innovation of crypto. They have crypto conventions. They have a lot going on. And so developers are basically, if the US decides to put stricter regulations, then people who are in the US, they'll just move to Singapore or Dubai and continue to work on blockchain tech. So it's my opinion that blockchain and Bitcoin are not going anywhere, because now the world knows about it, and there's really a lot more investments in Bitcoin, a lot more people familiar with Bitcoin. They can't shut Bitcoin down, its code. They can only ban it. So essentially you're just pushing innovative minds and developers and money out of the US if they decide to do that, but it's not going to take down the system.
How likely is something like that to happen in the US though, for it to be banned?
Before I would have said fairly likely, but now I don't think so. I think that they realize that this is, they either have to get on board or get left behind when it comes to even just money generating for their economy. Like if they decide, if this is the new wave, and we're starting to see that more and more, I think an enlightened regulator, like I take this off one of the podcasts I just listened to, and he's bang on. An enlightened regulator would do the right thing, because the goals and the desire and the mission is they're in unison with what the regulators want and what we want. And then, just stunting that growth would really be a shame. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't think it will, but I don't know anymore these days. There's a lot going on in the world I never thought would happen. So
you ain't lying. So we had another silly. Jay Savage asked, what is the correct pronunciation for Dogecoin? That's how I'm going to say it. I don't know if that's the correct way. That's the way I learned it. So he wants to know how you pronounce it correctly.
I pronounce it Dogecoin.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I mean, but I wonder if Google would do a pronunciation for you just to confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's Dogecoin.
I think you're right. That's how I've heard everyone pronounce it. There's no D in it, so it's not Dogecoin. So yeah, I think that's the right way, Jay Savage. So hopefully you were here to hear that. So my chat, they'll ask silly questions every now and again. So
No, that's cute.
What do you well, she's not gonna give you investment advice. But someone did ask, what do you recommend I do with $5,000 right now?
Yeah, I can't tell you that, but I would say that right now would be, and I wanted to, touch on this, just a really good time to, again, be aware of what's going on in the markets. And so if you are going to start investing, make sure you have a hedge. Like lately, I've been more focusing on topics about precious metals because they protect your capital from inflation. Inverses in the stock market protect from really big swings in the stock market. So if the stock market, drops in value significantly, these stocks go up. And commodities. Those are really big things right now, I think, that are the safest option, unless you're looking to do long term where you're okay losing that money for the short term. Again, like I said, crypto can go down even more from where we're at now. So in that regard, like I would diversify because diversification is huge. So if you're going to invest in crypto and you're going to invest a little bit here, let's say you were to pick some commodities or some precious metals and then pick crypto and some more other assets that you know are going to grow long term, but right now they might drop. So big on hedges. Make sure you research all about hedging. I'm actually going to do an episode specifically on hedging and why it's really important right now. So that would be my advice for you.
Okay, that's really good advice though, because I like you said, being versatile and having a diverse portfolio is the best way to go. So I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but someone asked, what about, is it AVEX?
Yeah, AVAX.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What about AVEX?
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. So it's the Avalanche network. It's another layer one that's trying to help Ethereum scale and help with all the transactions and everything on the blockchain. I think AVAX is a great project. I think it has a lot of potential. I think that, they're up to some really great things. And I think it's up there as well with, a stock or cryptocurrency that you should definitely keep your eye on.
All right. Booster 44. I hope that answers your question. So what is it Web3?
So just to explain Web3, I'm going to break down Web 1, Web 2, and then Web 3. So Web 1 was when the internet first came about. So roughly the 90s. And it basically gave us the ability to take what we used to get, journals on our front doorstep, and put it on the internet so that we had access to reading the journals worldwide from anywhere with a computer. And then we got Web 2, which was roughly 2005. And Web 2 was the ability to read and write on the internet. So it allowed for businesses or people to have businesses on the internet. It allowed for Twitter and Facebook and Instagram for you to be able to post content, and YouTube and things like that. The only thing with Web 2 is that we're in Web 2 right now, and you don't own your own data. So anything you post on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, they technically own the rights to your post, your picture. They can do whatever they want with it. Now, Web 3 is what blockchain technology is. And so it's the ability to read, write, and own your own data. So it takes away that data ownership from corporations and it gives it back to you as the content creator. So in that sense, that's why most people believe in this system, because now it's giving you back more control of your business, your data, and everything that, should be private for you to own and not for corporations. So that is Web 3. And so Web 3 is blockchain technology, and that encompasses cryptocurrencies and NFTs, and everything we discussed is Web 3.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it is a lot. And so it's like, I know that the information that we're receiving today is like, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to take so much more research and time. If it's something that people really want to get into, this is the way to do it. To hear the difficult questions, ask the difficult questions. And you're doing such a great job answering these for us. And, I'm hoping that people will take away from this, that there are people out there that are reputable, who really, really want to see people make it and flourish and learn this the proper way. Because I've seen too many times, people get involved and they start sharing information and I'm not even a pro, but I know some of the information that they're sharing is all wrong. And so that's why it took me a while to really get to the point of really actually asking you to do the show, because I wanted to make sure like I was bringing on someone who really knew their stuff. And I knew pretty quickly that she knew her stuff and that she would be a great asset to the show. So
Well,
thank you
thank you. That's
for
so
doing great.
that's really nice to hear. I appreciate that. I know it's hard. I'm trying to remind myself as I say certain terms that to try and say it easy, and it is just sometimes challenging for me because there is so much and I really want people to understand it, but again, this is a lot of information. And that's why I think, getting into an educational platform where you can kind of slowly get into 15-minute videos and gradually build up to understanding, because otherwise, yeah, it's just information overload. And I experienced that when I first started learning. And it was like you can be pulled in so many different
In different
directions
directions.
too. Oh, you start learning about, Ethereum, and then you see NFTs and everybody's making all this money on NFTs. So then you get, oh, I need to buy an NFT, but you don't know what they are or what they do. So, but most people buy anyways. And it's just a lot. So definitely, yeah, as much as you can. And again, like you can fast track that too with different platforms, but huge advocate of learning before you do make any investments.
Are there particular, I know that, and you can, this is a great time for you to actually talk about what you're going to be doing with your new podcast. I know you're going to be on the Spotify platform. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what can we expect to hear on your podcast? And are there other platforms or people that you recommend we may follow or listen to in order to get advice about getting into crypto?
Yeah, definitely. So my podcast will be, I'm going to do short and sweet episodes, probably 15 to 30 minutes per episode, just so people can tune in on the way to work or something. And again, it's a lot of information. So I think overloading people with too much at once is not going to be productive. So I'll be talking about basically everything that we're talking about, the do's and don'ts in the crypto world and what's going to help you last the long haul and the silly mistakes that most beginners make and how to protect your crypto, how to store it safely, how not to lose it in cyberspace, like all of the things that, I could keep talking about this for hours and hours, but that's why I figured I would do a podcast so that we just break it into little chunks and, we'll get there eventually together and we can all become successful together. And then with regards to stuff, right, that who you could follow or listen to, there's a YouTube, I think it's called 99 Bitcoins on YouTube, and they just do strictly educational. So you can look up anything like what is Ethereum? What does Ethereum do? What is an altcoin? What is Bitcoin? So anything like that, 99 Bitcoins does explain those terms, and you can Google as well. And then there's a few other, there's always YouTubers. So anything you're looking for, you can just put in on YouTube. What does this mean? What does that mean? There's a wealth of information out there. You just have to, take a little bit of time and put it in there. But majority of those on YouTube, you can answer any question.
Okay. And when can we expect to see your podcast or hear your podcast on Spotify?
So I just submitted the first couple of episodes 2 days ago, and I think it said that it takes them 2 to 3 weeks to show up on their platform. So I'm hoping roughly within that time, as long as I submitted everything correctly. But yeah, hopefully within the month you should see something, and I'll post it on my Instagram channel once it's live and where the link is so people can get access to it.
Yes, you guys, make sure you go over to Instagram and you follow Rebekah at the.crypto.rocket. Make sure you guys follow her so that way you can get the updates on when you'll be able to hear the podcast. Are you doing anything on YouTube?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was like, I was not on any platforms for a long time. And then all of a sudden it was Instagram and Facebook and all these things. So I'm just slowly working my way up. But I'll probably incorporate, because I know the thing with crypto is a lot of people are on YouTube. That's one of the main platforms for crypto. So, but not yet. And yeah, I wanted to add as well, if you guys are interested and you want to learn more, but you just don't have the time to dive into all of this, I also offer one-on-one coaching for people, educational purposes, but it's like the Cold Notes version of everything you need to know. So, how to set up a wallet properly, where to buy crypto, how to store crypto, all the do's and don'ts, as well as discussing projects that are out there, layer ones, layer twos, whatever category you're looking for, all that kind of stuff. If you're just looking for knowledge there, I offer one-on-one coaching too. So between the podcast and, the Instagram little tidbits and reels, and then the one-on-one coaching, hopefully you guys can get as much information that way as possible, and you don't really need to go too far.
That's right. We're going to utilize the Crypto Rocket. I have her website here at the bottom of the screen. You guys, make sure you check her out. She is a wealth of knowledge. Like, I really love your Instagram posts because they're not boring either. Like, you always have like good music. It's a lot of good energy, and so I'm always interested in checking out what you have there. Before we go into more questions, do I still have you for a little bit more time?
Mhm.
Okay. So before we get into more questions from the chat, I did notice you had a post not too long ago that said like 5 reasons why you won't be wealthy. Can you give us those 5 reasons? Because I thought that was really important.
Yeah. There's actually so many more than 5, but those are the big
Those
ones.
were the big ones, right?
Yeah. So one of them is that you don't know your risk tolerance. So really, again, like I said, with crypto, understanding that it's riskier, understanding that it's cyclical. So there's ups and downs every couple years, and understanding when those are. And then whether or not if you can't afford to lose the money that you're going to invest in, you're going to flip flop. You're going to you're going to be emotionally charged. And being emotionally charged when you're investing is one of the worst things that anyone can ever do. And so if you can't afford to invest that money, and you're going to be freaking out if it drops and you want to pull it out, you're going to lose in the end. So that's a big one, knowing your risk tolerance. The other one is not having multiple revenue streams. So, a big thing is being able to have multiple different things that can pay you. Because the goal at the end of the day, guys, is to not, my goal anyways, is to work less. You want to enjoy your life, work less. So anything you can do that's making you those multiple revenue streams is going to be massive, and it's going to get you one step closer to getting to that place where you want to be in your life. And the other one was, so the emotion part is you buy high and you sell low. So that again plays on emotions. Most people jump in and they have FOMO. They jump in when Bitcoin's running, and now it's at 60,000, and they're like, I better jump in because it's going to go to 100 grand. And now we start dropping. So buying high and then panic selling. That's why it's really important to have conviction in what you're buying, so you don't make those mistakes. Because you're like, you know what? Yeah, I bought when Ethereum was $2,000. It's now at $1,200, but I'm in this for the long term, so I'm not going to sell it. So those are huge things. You keep all your money in the bank. So this is a big one, especially right now. We're dealing with some insane amount of inflation. I think we're at almost 8% now. The market, we haven't seen anything like this since, do a quick history search. Basically the Great Depression. It was when kind of all of this sort of stuff, not the same things, obviously, but this is kind of this is what a lot of people think might happen. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but with the way the Fed is tightening on all of this, your savings account balance is losing money substantially every year. Even if you get a 5% raise from your work, they're technically giving you a pay cut because inflation is 8%. So your savings account isn't making you any money, and you're technically losing purchasing power. That's how inflation works, is the cost of goods rises, but your money is the same value. So you're losing money having cash. Cash is trash. So keeping your savings in a bank account, I wouldn't advise that. I would say find other revenue streams. Like I said, we talked about a little bit, precious metals, commodities, all of those things that are going to hold their value. Things like silver and gold, those are staples. They're going to hold their value. There's actually a crazy thing I looked up the other day. So in the 1920s, we were on what's called the gold standard. Anyways, they took us off the gold standard in the 70s. And ever since then, they started printing money. What you could have bought for $100 in 1920 now would cost you $700. So just to put it into perspective. Whereas, yeah, an ounce of gold back then was $25 and now it's $2,000. So gold has always been tested and tried over time. So so those are big ones. And then the other one was also, there was a really important one. Now I'm blanking on it, with regards to mindset and learning. I think just, yeah, your mindset and learning as much as you can before you invest. Huge things. And then I think that's pretty much it. There might be a few more, but I'm not being able to think of them right now.
I know I put you on the spot with that one.
No, that's good. So much going through my mind here.
No, I mean, like, you do so many of those like PSAs where it's just like, man, I just want to get my notebook and just take notes, because it applies to not only crypto, it applies to like so many other areas of life. That's how good your content is. So a couple more questions that we've got in the chat. Ohed asked, best way to turn Bitcoin into cash.
To turn Bitcoin into cash, like to sell it and get US funds, you mean?
If that's assuming he means.
Okay. So you can sell it on any of the platforms that you bought it on. So Binance.com or Kraken.com or Coinbase is another one. You can buy Bitcoin there and you can sell it. So you would just essentially sell Bitcoin for US dollars. Hopefully that answered, or that was what he was looking for.
Made sense to me. He also asked, are Bitcoin companies allowed to merge?
I would assume, yeah, if developers and different projects were looking to merge forces and merge companies, I'm sure that would be something that would happen. I've never seen it happen before, but I assume just like the regular worlds that they would be able to do that on the blockchain just the same.
Okay, Ohed, I hope that answers your question. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. Before Rebekah leaves us, I wanted to be able to get a couple of live questions. I believe someone had a question that they felt was a little bit more complex and needed to like verbally ask it as opposed to trying to type it into the chat. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to come up and, ask Rebekah your questions. We ask that you limit it to one question so that if we have multiple people, we can get through a few of them. And this may be too personal to ask, but I'm going to ask you anyway, and you can
great.
None of your business. But so what would your portfolio look like as far as what are the main things that you invest in?
So as a whole right now, I would say majority of what I'm in is hedging, to be honest. I have a lot of cryptocurrencies, the strong projects. I always hold Bitcoin, I always hold Ethereum, and some of the stronger projects that we chatted about. The smaller market cap coins are a bit more risky because they drop a lot in value. Bitcoin drops in value, but altcoins drop significantly more in value in a bear market. So understanding those cycles is important too. They're just smaller projects, so their price impact is huge. And when there's risk in the market, people take out from altcoins, they put it into Bitcoin. So those are riskier assets for sure. So the stronger projects, yes, and hedging is important. So I have silver, I'll be honest, and gold, and some of those things that I know are going to be around regardless if there was worst case scenario. So those are some of the things that I would say are good to look at, as well as inverse stocks of the stock market. Just again, to protect yourself as a hedge, if in case worst case scenario happens, it's better to be prepared than caught with your pants down. So I would say those are, between crypto and then the commodities and precious metals and hedges.
Okay. So she gave you what her, some of her portfolio looks like, you guys. So we got some work to do. I definitely need to get with you behind the scenes, and you know, I want to restart my crypto journey now that I have better information and I'm better educated, and I still got a whole lot to learn. I definitely want to get with you and definitely make sure we let everyone know when your podcast starts, when it starts on Spotify, so that we can tune in and get those gems, because we really need those in order to make really informed decisions. So thank you for that. I am going to add to the stream now. Senator Booster, thank you for tuning in to your fresh perspective. I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting before, but thank you for tuning into the show.
I'd like to say
You are breaking up. I can't hear a word you're saying.
I said thank you for having me on here. And,
You're so very welcome. Thank you for coming on up. Did you have a question for Miss Rebekah?
yes, first off, I wanted to say, hey, your knowledge is on point. You're very on point. So I respect your knowledge. But I just wanted to ask a question. Though. So, how you feel about like quant and the interoperability of the financial system that it will connect all the blockchains to allow um, everybody to get their payouts to all the major Fortune 500 companies?
So, first of all, thank you for what you said. And just to be clear, you're looking to understand how, if the financial system was to get onto the blockchain, how that interoperability would be. Is that what you're?
Nah, I'm like I was very much understanding what you were saying. I'm very much into crypto with you, but I was asking how you feel about quant. I mean, on the inoperability that is going to be able to connect all the blockchains together to make payments throughout, which allows Stellar Lumens, XRP, and all those to connect and make payments throughout the world. I don't,
Well, that's a great question. I mean, it really is going to depend on the operating systems and everything. Like, that's what they're working heavily on now. And so I really think I don't think that there's going to be some hurdles for sure, but I think that, we already have some big movers in the space with regards to that, and I don't think that we're really going to run into a lot of issues. I think that, there's a lot of money driving this too, and I think that that interoperability is going to be huge. So, I might have to get back to in a bit more detail on that, but so that's how I feel about it.
okay. I won't nobody else up, and I appreciate y'all for having me on. Thank y'all very much.
Yeah,
Thank
nice to
you
hear
so
from you.
much. Thank you so much for your questions and coming on up. If there's anybody else that has questions for Miss Rebekah, now is the time. Come get these questions answered. I'm going to drop the link one more time before we let her go. I want to make sure, this episode, we utilize, the information that she has to give us right now, you guys. So now is the time to ask your questions. I'm trying to think, do I have any more questions for myself? Like I feel like it's so much that I want to get with you behind the scenes, just so that I can start doing things the right way. And I think that's the most important thing, is people doing it the right way. So many people get taken advantage of because they're undereducated, or they're ill-advised. There's people who will, how people like to do like these seminars or these classes or these ebooks or whatever about all these different professions, and they really don't learn anything from it. So I think what you're offering is super valuable.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's the goal. Like I said, I'm really passionate about this. So if I can help people get into it and, create a really big opportunity financially for themselves, but also just, provide for the system, not the system, but the whole understanding of crypto and everything, I'm happy to do that, because I really believe in it. So thank you for saying that. And thank you so much for having me today. It was really nice. Yeah, it was really nice to chat and talk about crypto and, interact with the crowd as well. And yeah, it's nice to
Well,
do
you're
this.
definitely, like the gentleman that was just cammed up said, like your knowledge, there's people in here that understand crypto. And so I noticed that a lot of the things that you're saying, the people that understand crypto, they're like, she knows what she's talking about. She's on point. And so that makes me feel good because that means I did my due diligence of bringing the right person to them, and teaching them, a few things tonight. So, I'm immensely appreciative of you coming and doing the show. So, I have your website posted here. What are some of the things that they'll find and be able to do if, connecting with you through your website?
So the website is more just explaining what I offer, and like how I feel about crypto and why I'm so passionate about it, and the opportunities that lie in crypto for people to break free of the financial system and, set up a life that actually teaches you how to become successful and understand the do's and don'ts. Not just crypto, like you said before, it relates to everything. It relates to the stock market. It relates to just getting ahead of this rat race, basically, that we're all kind of kept at. So it talks about that, and it also just it offers the one-on-one coaching if people want help. So that's pretty straightforward for the website. And then Instagram is where I post more daily content about, crypto news, what's going on, um, certain projects, the do's and don'ts, all that good stuff with regards to education, and then the podcast. Well, to come.
Okay. Right. And you said we can expect that here in a couple of weeks, correct?
Yeah, I should be a couple weeks. So that'll be a better way for me because the Instagram reels, they're limited to a minute. And so sometimes it's really hard. I
It's
mean, look, we've been talking for an hour and a half or so already. So it's just easy to keep talking about it. And one subject is definitely a lot more than a minute. So it's a little challenging to squeeze everything in on there.
Yeah, I definitely have come to realize that Instagram, when you have something that requires a lot of information, Instagram is a tool for you to lead people to another platform where you can actually get in depth, or, Zooms, YouTubes, podcasts. It Instagram is great for getting the information out there and then just kind of facilitating it to a place where it can be more interactive and more, at length discussions such as this one. So you definitely know how to use it well, and because you got me to to reach out to you because I felt that you really had a great understanding and a passion. Like, that's, you guys, when you see her Instagram, you're gonna be like, yes, she really has a passion for what she's doing. And I think that's so important, um, to really love what you do, because I feel like you deliver more, you give more to people, and you give more accuracy to people when it's really something that you believe and then willing to invest in yourself. So, you know,
Totally.
to
Was
be
it Sorry to interrupt you. Gary Vee said something along that lines that really struck me. He said, there are always people coming up to him asking him, well, how do I get more followers and how do I do this? And he said, well, how about you redirect that into like what you can get out of them versus what you can give them? And when you're truly passionate about something and you really want to help people, I mean, I've had the calls that I have are just genuine people who want to learn. Like, I'm just putting out there exactly how I feel. So, it's cool to have found this. And again, like, I don't think I mentioned this before, but redirect my energy with all of the terrible things I felt like were happening in the world to something that is, you're passionate about. And when you direct your energy that way and you're really wanting to help people, it just comes so differently. And I think people are drawn to that too. So thank you for saying that, because that is definitely what I want. And it makes me, it makes me feel good that that is something that you felt when you saw my page or they noticed.
Oh yeah, you definitely put the effort in, and that's something I'm trying to learn with Instagram myself. I haven't really grasped it really quick. I just kind of started using it and using the business page, and trying to market what I do here with a fresh perspective, and so I actually learn a lot from looking at a lot of the posts that you put up, and as well as a lot of the people who are a part of the viral love train that we've taken part in on Clubhouse, which has been very great for what I've been doing. Um, just seeing the different posts and how people really get creative with it and engaging. And I don't know if you know, which you probably don't because this is your first visit with us, but I had a podcast last year, and every guest that we had last year, including most of the guests that we've had this year, were from Clubhouse.
Cool.
Yes, and
I
I'd
love
say
that place.
most of them were probably from the engagement room. Like, we had Marpessa Allen on here, and she's the doula that also does, like, the insurance and everything. We had her on here a couple of weeks ago. The psychic medium that I got on the show a couple weeks ago, she was from
Cool.
Clubhouse. She wasn't from the engagement room, but she was from Clubhouse. And so I really like the Clubhouse platform. It gets a bad rap for a lot of really chaotic rooms on there, but I try to stay out of those areas and be in the more progressive and the more positive rooms that, like our engagement room, where people can actually network and you can actually reach out to people who are professionals and know their stuff. And so that's kind of how I've been utilizing Clubhouse to bring quality guests onto the Fresh Perspective.
That's huge. And you know what? There are a lot of I've noticed that. I think it's been about a month or actually a month and a half now since I stumbled across the viral love train on Clubhouse. And it was such a blessing because, everybody in there is grinding. Everybody in there is ready to get after. And that's what I love. And, you said you had Marpessa Allen on here. That's amazing. Like she also reached out to me with regards to crypto stuff. And, you can really see these minds are they're wanting to take in as much information as they can. And those are the people that are going to succeed in life. No doubt. You take anybody who's eager to learn and wants to get after it and connect with people and do all that is going to be successful. So Clubhouse is an amazing platform for that with the viral love train and it's really cool. I've seen some pretty magical things happen in there too with regards to like breakdowns and people all coming together and helping and being like,
It's
hey,
a
I can support you.
beautiful thing. It really
Oh,
is. It's a beautiful thing. I keep saying, I need to ask TJ, is there a way to do that for YouTube? Because it really has increased. I want to say it actually helped me double my subs on IG, even though it's not a follow for follow and stuff. I've gotten quite a bit of subs from utilizing the viral love train. So it
me
really
too.
has been very beneficial. Again, I've met a lot of great people, such as yourself, and bringing them onto the show and really helping encourage people in whatever those areas are, whether it be business, music, crypto, stocks. Marpessa had a great episode, talking about being a doula and building financial freedom, and it's starting with such young, as being born as a baby, up and just getting these families on the right path to financial freedom. And so those are the type of things that I want to bring to the show. And so utilizing Clubhouse and other platforms to find quality, guests, I'm going to continue to do that, and hopefully you'll come back
I would love to.
and talk to us a little bit more. I definitely would love to have someone come regularly that can, just kind of keep taking us on this journey, because we can't learn everything in one day. We
Ain't
can't,
that the truth?
can't learn it all in one day, but I think you dropped a lot of gems, giving us a lot to think about, and I just look forward to your podcast and whatever other content that you put out.
Thank you. Yeah, and actually now that I hear and get a better understanding of some of the people that you've had too, like that excites me because there's a lot of areas, like even the doula thing. I find that really interesting and just little things that I don't normally tune into. I'm consumed in like one world. And so it's really nice to have the ability to check in and learn something completely different. And I love the area that you're focusing on is just bringing value to people, and that's huge because, and especially right now, we need more value. We need less of the what's the term, vanity metrics, and more actionable metrics. So less of the what it looks like on the outside, more of I want to dig deep and understand how I can be better in life. So I
Oh,
appreciate that you do this. This is really great, and I'm a huge advocate for it. So I'm really happy we got to connect and do this.
oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. It's difficult. I'm not even gonna lie, because trying to make sure you bring good content and quality content, and I'm a little different from some of the platforms that I would watch on YouTube. I wanted to do something where people can actually learn and walk away with something, and it not be full of drama or just rhetoric that we hear every day. And so I do appreciate you saying that, and I'm gonna keep working at it, and getting better. I'm still new. I always say I'm the new kid on the block, so be patient with me. I'm still learning. I'm getting there, and the fact that I've been able to secure some of the great interviews that I have so far, I'm super grateful. And I'm
Well,
not
you're doing great. And I love the lady fresh in the background. I love all the
Thank you. I got it green right now because my Celtics are in the middle of the finals right
finals.
now, and we're not doing so well. We're down a game. We need to win tomorrow night. And so, I've been repping my green. I always do the wrong hand this side. I'm repping my green and my I am Lady Fresh, but then it'll go back probably to red since that's my favorite color.
Actually, yeah, I was gonna say also your hair is the red looks beautiful on you. So you got the green and red, they both look great, and go Celtics. Hopefully they pull through for you. And
I hope so. I'm
I
going
don't
to be in Houston tomorrow. Me and my husband are going to Houston tomorrow, and we're going to meet up with one of my best friends, and she's from the Bay Area. So I was like, I shouldn't even be talking to you right now. I said I might end up choking you tomorrow. It didn't go well tomorrow, but yeah, I'm looking forward to spending some time with her, and a little bit of friendly rivalry.
That's awesome, and that's awesome that you're into basketball. We used to have a team out here, but we don't anymore. So I usually just watch the U.S. games, but we have soccer and football out here, so that's fun. I'm a big football fan, but basketball I never really got into. But it's fun to watch the games, bet on them, and shoot to shit with your friends.
Yeah, totally. I grew up with okay, CMW recordings, whatever. We're gonna win in Boston. He's another Cali.
Nice, a little
Um,
banter.
yeah, he whatever. We'll
Oh,
see
that's good.
tomorrow. We're gonna win in Boston. Okay, we're gonna win in
Yeah,
Boston.
you are.
Yes, we
You're
are.
gonna kill it in Boston.
Yes, we are. Thank you. See,
Nice.
that's what I know. I liked you. So, do you have any parting words for us? Anything else that I didn't maybe ask you that you feel that our people really should know?
I did write down a few things, so let me just scan to see if I covered them or not. I think it was more the tips. Yeah, so again, just the learning part, it's important to know the do's and don'ts. Guys, majority of people don't last in crypto. That's just the truth. So understanding and learning doing the do's and don'ts is going to make you stand out, and you're not going to be majority. You don't want to be majority of people anyways. Um, And then I think for the most part, we touched on everything, um, dollar cost averaging. And if you're going to learn, I would suggest one thing I didn't touch on is, because it can get really overwhelming. If you're going to learn, just focus on one category. And if I was you, I would start learning about layer ones, things like Ethereum, things like Solana, things like Matic. Learn what those are, what they do. They're the most important category in crypto right now. So I think that layer one solutions, and Ethereum is an example of one. And if you learn a little bit about Ethereum, you learn a little bit about what it's doing, why it needs help, all those things will, really, that's a good starting point. And then I have one podcast recommendation. The Tim Ferriss Show, episode 542. It talks all about Web3 and crypto. And it's about an hour long, and it really just gives you a better understanding of crypto, blockchain, NFTs, regulations around crypto and what that would do. And it's a really, really good episode. And I would say that's a really great starting point.
The Tim Ferriss Show.
Yeah.
And what episode number was that?
542.
542. Tim Ferriss Show. If any of my mods are able to find that link for that episode and drop it into the chat, that'll be great. We want to utilize whatever resources she gives us. So that's the Tim Ferriss Show, and that was episode 452.
542.
I got it all backwards. Look at me.
I can also send it to you.
542. How did I put 452? That's a shame. I don't know my numbers, basic counting. Okay. So I know Eve, my Eve. Did you have a question, Eve? Because I did drop the link twice, now thrice. Okay, that's not a word, but 3 times. I dropped it for you, sweetheart. If you had a quick question, we're getting ready to wrap up. I don't want to hold Rebekah too long. She's given us nearly 2 hours. How long has it been? An hour and 35 minutes. So if you have any questions, Eve, if you have a question or anybody else in the chat, don't hesitate to either hit the link or drop it into the chat box. While we're waiting for that, I'm just going to acknowledge a couple more people in the chat that I may not have seen earlier. Salute Harlem Girl, Bishop, Don Philly 215, Fresh Breezy, my king. Salute to you, the Dirty Kenzo, Eve, of course. Who else did I see in here?
Also, if any
Flower Bomb, Old Head, and Behind the Bar 2.0. Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead, Rebekah. You had something
Sort
else?
of interrupt. Also, if you guys have more questions, you can reach out to me via Instagram if something comes up later on.
Yes, and her Instagram is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can reach her at IG at the.crypto.rocket.
So it is spelt wrong on there.
Is it? Let's
yeah.
fix it. Let's fix
Crypto
it.
is CRY.
Oh yeah, you got an extra R in there.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's fix it.
I only just noticed that too. So
I need to edit that. Like that.
So do you do this every week?
So my crazy behind, don't ask me how I managed to commit to doing it twice a week.
Wow.
Lately I haven't because of the finals. Like I'm serious about my basketball and my Celtics. So
Priorities.
And then I do a lot of traveling. So my trade is hair restoration. That's what I do for a living. And so I'm on the road often. I mean, often. And so sometimes I might have, and it did not correct. Let me do it again. Oftentimes I'll have a plan to do a show and it doesn't end up, or so my plan is usually Wednesdays would be my interviews, and then Saturdays are my open panels and more of a not so structured, more of a laid back, shoot the shit kind of episode.
Nice.
So that's kind of been the format. I'm trying to see if this is corrected now.
You got it.
Okay, and now I need to fix your tickering. 1, 2. So as long as I'm able to find, get interviews, good interviews, because I take my time and I vet, and I always want to speak to the person I'm going to interview, for one, to make sure they're a real person, because most of these people I don't know them. So for one, to make sure that they're a real person, and then two, because I want it to be more of a conversation versus a straight question answer. This, with you was a little bit more question answer because I know nothing about crypto. Like that is not, I don't have any like real insight to offer at all. So, I really wanted to give you the opportunity to educate us. But yeah, I said twice a week. And so I've been pretty good about doing that. I'll have, some off weeks, game night, especially if we lose. Yeah, I'm not coming on.
Hey, that's fair. Hey, but that's good for you. That's 2 times a week, and it's a commitment. So, but that's how you get ahead, and I think that's awesome. I think the more time you put in, the better, and that's the way it usually works. So keep getting after it, and I'd love to. Yeah, I'm gonna check in and tune in every so often and see what's shaking over here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support, and I think that this was an excellent opportunity for us to get the conversation started about crypto, and again, hopefully we'll be able to keep it up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you so much, Rebekah. Please don't be a stranger. Come back.
No, of course not.
Anytime.
Yeah, definitely.
All
All
right.
right. Good night, guys.
All right. Thank you
See
so
ya.
much. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
All right.
You too.
Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. What y'all think about that episode? I know it was a lot of information. A lot of stuff that some went over my head, some I understood because I understand a little bit about crypto, but I think um this is a great door that was opened to start the dialogue about crypto and understanding it and wanting to invest and making sure you're doing it the right way, because I think that's the biggest thing, is that people are emotional, and they get nervous if they have money invested in something because they see the different dips and peaks and all that with the market, and they start to get really really nervous. And so I feel like understanding, having the 101s and talking with someone like Rebekah really really helps. It really will help you make sound choices. Like, she can't give us investment tips as far as what to invest in, what to put money on, when to get out. Like, she can't tell us that, because the last thing she wants is somebody go invest in something and then they lose money and then they want to blame her for it. So we can't do that, but she can definitely tell you the right way to go about it, resources to use to, learn, and hopefully she'll come back. I want her to come back. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Wonderful interview. Thank you, my Eve. Eve, I dropped the link. What happened? I thought you had a question. You just wanted to pick on me? Jay Savage, you know what? You had a couple of comments in here tonight. I'm watching you. You already drunk, uncle? Drunk uncles, when y'all coming back? I got two of y'all in here. Where's Bonnet? He's been hiding from me for the last like 2 episodes, and I don't appreciate it.
A special 1-hour segment for drunk uncles
Tonight. Y'all come, Jay.
Do a double show.
Do a double show tonight. I mean, I'll open it up for y'all. And then yeah. And then we definitely got to go live in Houston. We're gonna go to Houston tomorrow. Me and Fresh Breezy will be in Texas. Well, okay. If the Celtics win tomorrow, I'm gonna go live. It's not gonna be the setup because we'll be on location. I'm not lugging all of this stuff. I got my episode for this week done, but like if we win tomorrow, I might go live so I can talk my shit. But if we lose tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be disheveled. I'm gonna be a mess. I'm gonna be a wreck. And I know people like CMW Recordings and Al Hennings are gonna be trolling me. So I'm probably not gonna go live if we lose. Anyway, Jay and Eve, what y'all got going on down there in the chat? Oh, you wasn't coming up, so you was just messing with me, talking about I still ain't dropped the link. I was trying to multitask. Thanks, Crypto Rocket, Rebekah Joy. Yes, thank you. She's amazing. Like, y'all, I know that Clubhouse gets such a negative rap, but there's really a lot of positivity going on over there. There's a lot of professionals over there who are willing to share their experiences and share their knowledge. And I think that's something that we need, and that's what I want to provide for you guys. So definitely going to keep going over there and bringing people back over here to the Fresh Perspective. So just the idea of some of the future episodes that I'm working on. I'm working on an episode titled I'm So Harlem, where I'm going to be featuring, I can't even talk and I ain't even had no alcohol yet. Fresh Breezy didn't give me my shot for the day. I'm working on an episode, I'm So Harlem, where I'm basically going to be talking about where I grew up, Harlem, New York. And I want to get music from where I grew up, the projects that I grew up. Yes, I grew up in the projects. And there's a lot of great and dope music that comes from where I'm from. And so I really want to focus on, the culture. Thank you. Oh, and then look at the glass that he brought me. See? Good husband. Wait, let me clear it off. So can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Oh yes, my husband is the best. I have no idea what's in here. It could be water for all I know, but it's in the Celtics shot glass. We gotta take these with us to Houston. We need all the luck we could get. We got to win because it's tequila. Okay, I don't take tequila shots in public. See. But anyway, so I'm So Harlem. That's one of the episodes I'll be working on, but that's going to be my baby. So I really want to take time with it. Fresh is going to New York soon, so hopefully we can get some footage of, the area where we grew up, maybe even talk to a couple people out there, and definitely going to be featuring some artists on there. We also have another episode of the gardening, the farming, starting a gardening 101, trying to get that locked in completely. I have a social media influencer that I'm working on getting on the show who will talk about ways to use social media to further business and how to increase your engagement. And what's another one? Yeah, so those are some of the episodes that I'm hoping to bring. Oh, and trademarking is so important. And so I know that BDB announced that he's in the process of trademarking his brand, which I think is very smart. Shout out to Behind the Bar 2.0. Make sure you guys are subscribed and you have your notifications on so that you can catch Maine and all his fuckery. We can't miss any of those. They had a great show on in the middle of the morning this morning. Had my husband acting all kinds of crazy. So always enjoy Behind the Bar and On the Road with Maine the Milkman. So make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. But yeah, trademarking. So those are some of the topics that I'm going to bring forward. I'm going to drop the email as I always do. Just to, let you know, this is where you would send information if you have requests for shows. If you have music, I'm still waiting on more music, original music. If you guys know anyone who wants to come on and play their music live, let's do it. I'm all for it. Also, there's my Cash App. How about you hit my Cash App? Shout out to Pretty Eyes T. Here is at the bottom of the screen, the Drunkles. They're on Instagram now, and they have a page. So you guys make sure you subscribe to the Drunk Uncles podcast. I believe they're going to be doing a live recruiting very soon. These are the three main drunkles, but they're always looking for more people to join their cause. The only requirement is for you to be drinking during the show. And you actually don't even have to be anybody's uncle. You just need to be drunk and a man. Occasionally you might see a drunk auntie join the party, but the drunkles, they're really funny. I have one that lives right here. I don't know. Let me look at the chat. Lady Fresh, can you play that video? What video, Jay? Jay, well, Fresh wants to do another show tonight. So, if you down for doing a show, maybe like 11. You down to do a show tonight, Jay? Or tomorrow night in Houston? I can't promise you tomorrow night because I'm telling you, if the Celtics lose, it's going to be all bad. I got a patient to see Friday, and I pray for the patient's sake that the Celtics win. Yeah. These gas prices, though, I'm going to have to start charging my clients more. These gas prices are disrespectful. I can't even fill up my tank with like $60. That's a shame. It takes like $80 something to fill the tank if I have one of them SUVs. It's ridiculous. These gas prices are crazy. I don't know what they gonna do, but they need to change that. Oh, I'm gonna be inside. Oh, well, you know what? You've really been on. Your mouth has been very spicy tonight, Jay Savage. Very spicy. You gonna delete that? Well, it's there. It's up there. Everybody seen it. That's like the third spicy ass comment you made tonight. I'm watching you. That Jay Savage. You just never know what he's gonna say. Well, all right, you guys. What you mean, damn it? Yeah, normally I don't catch it. I'm trying to get better with reading the chat and talking and engaging with the guests. But it's hard. Like y'all know I told y'all I'm not good at multitasking that way. But yes, I caught that. There's no guest up here. So now all I have to focus on is the chat. So Fresh said, never mind. I don't know. We might still come on later tonight. We'll see. Jay Savage, I think he capping. He ain't got no company. He capping. Oh, that is so funny. Thank you to my mods for everything that you do. You keep everybody in check. So far, this chat has always been very respectful. You guys do a good job of getting the riffraff out of here. I never even see it. So thank you so much for what you guys do. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna get ready to wrap up the show. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you learn something. I don't know what you're talking about then, Fresh. You done gave me a shot of tequila, so I'm off balance already. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something. And if this is, something that you want to continue on a regular basis, we definitely can do that. We can start bringing Rebekah back as much as she's willing to come back, And I have one other crypto specialist that I would really love to bring to the show. That was Rich Verbs' co-host. And so, speaking of which, there he is right there, 2 P's in a podcast. Salute to you, brother. Let me tell you something. Last week's episode, hands down, one of my favorite episodes. Hands down. Because I wanted to redo that interview ever since last year. When everything went crazy. And you so graciously were just like, things happen. It was still great, but I always wanted to do it again. And I feel like, the next time we did it better. So if you did not get to catch the Rich Verbs interview, we discussed 2 P's in a podcast, which is an amazing podcast. Two young brothers with a perspective of, from two straight men. And they talk about things that affect this culture. They talk about things that affect the Black family, relationships, love, marriage, religion, being a woman, men and women relating to one another. Like all of those things, they talk about that, and they give it to you from the perspective of men, and that's of Black men. And that's a perspective that I feel like we don't get to hear enough of. They get silenced, and now it's their time now. I'm telling you right now, ladies, okay, it's been the year of the woman for like ever. Men are reclaiming their shit. Okay, so we just need to be, the loving and supportive women that we were created to be, and receive it. Like, I mean, we really need to listen more. We need to be more supportive. That's something that I'm learning, to be more supportive to our Black men and their cause. And they have voices that need to be heard just like we do. And I think that a lot of times we have to stop being so selfish and making everything about us. And that's not everybody. It's not every woman. It's not every man. But we can be selfish at times, ladies. Sometimes we can be really, really selfish. And it's not always a good thing. Sometimes it hurts. So it's just a very refreshing podcast. I look forward to seeing it every week. I think they're gonna be probably dropping one this Friday. I can't wait to see what the topic is gonna be. Last week they talked about Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey, and that whole debacle, that was a mess. But you know, they discussed that. They discussed topics like what is a woman? And that was a really good episode. They discussed the Buffalo mass shooting. What were some of the other topics? They got into the Will and Jada and Chris Rock incident. There's a lot of different great topics on there. And it just so happens like if something happens, they have an episode coming up and they talk about it. So it's really dope. So make sure you subscribe. Fresh Breezy, I don't know if you're near the computer, but if you're able to drop their link, please drop it in the chat, or anybody else that might have the 2 P's in the podcast link for YouTube, please drop it in the chat so that we can get people over there to subscribe. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. I'm going to put the banner up from last week's episode. Our interview with Rich Verbs, dope music. We actually heard his music earlier today, Monetary Gains. I played that song because we were discussing crypto, which can lead to monetary gains. And so, you know, I think that was a great reflection of the episode. All right, you guys. If there's nothing else, if nobody else has any questions or anything, please, you know, don't hesitate to hit the email if you have any music or if you have any topics that you would like me to cover. Eve said to drop the link for the Drunkles as well. So make sure you put in the chat the link for the Drunk Uncles podcast as well, so people can start subscribing to you guys. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be having some content pretty soon. If we can't get them on tonight, we might be able to get them on tomorrow night. These guys are hilarious. They be drunk and just be talking. Here's the link for here's the website for verbals.com. If anybody has the 2 P's in the pod, please drop that in the chat so that people can go over and subscribe. All right, you guys, it was a great show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. I'll see you tomorrow night if the Celtics win. If you don't see me, it's because we lost and I'm somewhere nursing my wounds. Love you guys. Shout out to Rebekah again for joining us, the Crypto Rocket. We really do appreciate you. You guys, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the flip side.
I'm on the bigger things, I'm talking monetary gains. I'm on the bigger things, I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too. I'm on the bigger things, I'm talking monetary gains. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool roots moves. I got a whole lot of whenever you're focused on building your bands, gotta navigate and get to the money. No distraction gonna take me off course. Laughing at you clowns, you know what's funny. I'm that nigga and they know what it costs. Chick gon' get it, I don't care what it costs. All this horsepower, know me to floss. Rockin' Ralph Lauren up in the Porsche. New cologne scent smelling like honey. Keep the thing on me for whoever want it. Fantastic with the 4 pound. Desert Eagle or the 40 cal. Jamie Foxx, I lift your soul out. out. People saying whole sold out. Motherfuckers don't know what they talking about. I just think they need someone to talk about. So they sit around and gossip like bitches, pocket watching and critiquing decisions. Truth is, they know shit about business. I'm on a mission, trying to get into the billions. Can't get caught up in my feelings, raising the ceiling. Y'all know the flow appealing. Able, ready, and I'm willing. Give a fuck about your feelings, I'm making a killing. I'm on the bigger things, talking monetary gain. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool boots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too. I'm on the bigger things, talking monetary gain. Old money, new money. No, we are not the same. Always contemplating new moves. Getting to is what I'm used to. Back to back, cool boots moves. I got a whole lot of juice too. I got a whole lot of.
Tweaking, finesse it, all the games, I'm not to be messed with. Y'all be playing, shit so temporary. One in the chamber, one up, I need leverage. Y'all completely flip the script, no director. I'm trying to break the bank while y'all break up. Too much at stake, yeah, that's a fact. Imagine that, watch the close ones. They'll stab you in your back. I'm in my bag, running up a bag. Whole lot of cash shit going on. I'm in my bag, running up a bag. Whole lot of cash shit going on. When I step.
Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Yeah. Lady fresh, keep it real, and that's a fact. She gon' tell it like it is, that's just that on that. Yeah, that's just that on that. This the fresh perspective with Lady Fresh. Lady Fresh, keep it real, and that's a fact. She gon' tell it like it is, that's just that on that. Yeah, that's just that on that. Tune in every week, rockin' with Lady Fresh.
My family, my life, and I appreciate it.
Brother, let's cut that back.
You know, like I said, I always try to express my appreciation, to everybody. It's a lot of
fresh perspective, real empowerment, you better be respected. Lady Fresh on that motherfucking check-in. Weezy got her back, she stay protected. Just a fresh perspective, real empowerment, you better be respected. This for the Jesus, it's to get you through the night now. Not for the haters that they don't come outside.